Ever since the days of Rob the Robot and the insidious Power Glove, peripherals have always gotten a bad rap in video games. Though recent offerings like Guitar Hero and DDR have turned the tables somewhat, a certain reluctance will always remain in pursuing these gimmicky and often costly ventures. The latest peripheral-driven franchise is the Eye of Judgment, a camera-based card game for the PlayStation 3. The concept is intriguing, but will it have players cashing in their cards or calling for a mulligan? True to its namesake, the Eye of Judgment features a small optical camera that keeps track of all the gameplay in progress. The setup consists of the Eye perched atop a plastic stand overlooking a cloth playing field where cards are laid down. When everything's in place, a calibration tool guides players in aligning the cloth's grid. Calibration is the most crucial step. If the grid is even slightly misaligned, card detection is finicky. The whole process is relatively hassle-free, but expect to spend a little more startup time than you'd care to, unless you can dedicate a permanent spot. Arena Battle is the game's main offline mode, where you can play against a friend or the computer. Winning against a computer unlocks additional cards and decks to play against, though you'll have to pony up the real-life versions through booster packs if you want to use them on your end. Apart from Arena Battle, players have access to a deck building tool and 2 additional modes that take advantage of the camera. Card Profile Mode, which functions as a virtual encyclopedia, and Judgment, a minigame reminiscent of war. They're meager add-ons at best, but there's a certain gratification to be had in seeing one of your rare cards pop up in full 3D. If properly configured, the camera works like a charm. Creatures can be tilted and turned like make-believe action figures. Then there's Online Mode. Normal modes don't require it, but scanning your deck is mandatory for online play to deter cheating. And just to make sure you or your opponent aren't stacking cards, the game randomly assigns you cards from your deck to play. Considering that the card component of Eye of Judgment could essentially be played without any type of electronic support, the game may seem like superfluous dressing. However, a computer opponent that slowly builds its repertoire against you, and the ever-crucial online element, grants the game its significance. Unlike your Magic the Gathering cards that have likely gathered dust by now, you'll almost always have someone to play with electronically with Eye of Judgment. And although the game suffers a bit from the lack of a single-player campaign, what modes are present do well to fully support what the card game and camera are capable of. The goal of Eye of Judgment is a little different than most card games. Rather than picking away at an opponent's life points, terrain control takes precedence here, as players do battle with creatures while attempting to maintain 5 out of the 9 spaces on the map. Summoned creatures come armed with set values of life, attack power, and elemental properties used to determine the outcome in battle. To support these creatures, players can draw upon magic spells to charm the flow of battle in their favor. Creatures and magic work in tandem with one another to gain an edge over the competition, and from there, it's a game of outlasting and outplaying with strategic placement and careful maneuvers. Simple as the concept sounds, it's not easy. Beneath the game's deceptively basic objective and design lies a turncoats array of tricks and plays that can be carried out. Cards, like the bewitching Elf Archeress for one, can cause a targeted creature to turn in place 180 degrees, forcing the opponent to waste mana getting the creature back into the right position. The same goes for magic. Flipping a space's elemental properties can dramatically affect the hit points of the creature standing on it. There's enough strategy here to go around, and the momentum between players shifts so often that it's usually difficult to crown the victor before the final blow is dealt. The card game's inherent rules are a bit limiting for CCG vets looking to concoct crazy strategies on the field. You can only have 30 cards in your deck. Elemental lands and weaknesses frown on homogenized theme decks, and the focus of terrain control whittles down the types of decks and strategies you can use in battle compared to other tabletop card games. Still, what the game provides is plenty to flex some creativity in combat, though you'll be sacrificing a bit of depth for convenience and speed. The Eye of Judgment's overlying theme rests on a clash between natural forces and the metallic organisms known as the Biolith. Unfortunately, the game takes metal a little too literally, with its catalog of head-thrashing rock riffs that sound a little too out of character for a mystical card game. Some aren't that bad, but don't be surprised if you'll be looking to mute the music eventually. Music aside, the elements that make up the Eye of Judgment's visual presentation are spot on. The crisp fidelity between card art and 3D model is worth noting, and a stoic, unseen referee that voices every phase of battle pads out the experience.
Mana charge, mana release.
As if card games weren't enough of a niche market, a video game like the Eye of Judgment complicates matters by seeping into an even deeper crack within that crevice. But for what it's worth, the game is a steal, especially if there will be more use to come of the packaged camera in the future. Card sharks who have been holding their cards for a definitive console collectible card game experience need look no further than this game.